Good morning, people. It's going to be a beautiful day for this. So I want to get these fenders sanded and get all 4 of the front fenders off. There is a reason. Yet another reason for that is this is where that chunk of molding was, and it went in so it didn't hit the fender. But it can be all the way out to here and it still won't hit the fender. It clears quite nicely. So I gotta make a little template. So once I take the fenders off, I can fill this to this line right here. And then when I paint it and put it all back together, it'll be the way it's supposed to be. So let me make some templates. Okay, there are my 2 little templates. And they'll just be used to hold up against the doors as I continue to work on them and rough them all out. And when it gets close, I'll set the fenders back on there and make it perfect. Actually, what I have to do. So this is a little trick that you're going to want to remember. If you think about a part card, this is cinematic magic here, people. The effort that goes into what I'm doing for you. You're going to want to remember this on about anything you work on. You have a bolt with a washer, with a big washer, covers a big hole. When that comes back to go on the car, it's going to be red there, and the bolts will have no color at all. They'll soak them in thinner. So what you want to do, make yourself a little mark, so when you put it back on, it will be in exactly the same place. And you do that back one out at a time and do them all. And then you're ready to rock. You can safely take your fender off and it'll be the way it's supposed to be when you put it back on there. Okay. Here's another way of doing exactly the same thing. That you can use, because this is not going to get painted in here. So, as you can see, it's kind of hard to see the little bolt. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take some red spray paint, and overspray don't matter in here, and even if it does, it's red. I'll just coat the bolt and everything, this whole area. Now we're going to let it dry. Damn it. Hard to see the bolts out here. So will I get painted out here, and if overspray gets in there, guess what? It's red. It'll only look better. So that is good. Here we go. The right side's apart. I'll mark this to where it was. I'll be able to see that nice and easy. And tell you what, I put this center fender in, and this little seal before they put the door on. You can get them out of there without it, but it ain't gonna be put back together that way. It's in pretty good shape. It's a little dry rotted. Like if it's a $5 item, and probably just replace it. They want like 40, 50 bucks for it. They'll just get this one back. These are in great shape. But this is where the details really matter. See the wipers? They've been pretty much sandblasted by the wind until they're not the right color, but it's easy to fix. Actual wiper blades, I think, is actually more dangerous for something this old to be working when you're driving than just letting the rain land on it. But these are fine. We just scuff them up and level them out and hit them with some semi-gloss black. And then one of these is gone, and this one's shot. So you get a couple of those, they're just $2. But those are all the little details painting the car that will just be off. If you don't do it, you're going to have this beautiful paint job and just all this other fucked up shit. Also, I'm going to look up the price. I'm going to be trying my darndest to get her to buy new ones. This right here is old and nasty and shrunk as it is. And nothing says used car better than this does. And if you look at it up close, you see how it's not black anymore. It's just all faded and weather beaten and drying and cracking. And again, it won't look right on a car that's painted perfect. Okay, then I should mention, these parts aren't bad at all right there. They're great. They just need washed in soap and water, top and bottom, clean, look really, really well, and then armor all when we installed it. But you take that and you put it on the car and realize that you can see a lot of it when the hood's down, and then you just tape it off and overspray gets in there and more dust and dirt. It's gonna look like shit. And it's just that easy to make it look like new. So, these headlights look like shit. However, you just run over them with some Wetter Dry 800 and then shoot them with the same clear I'm shooting the body with, and they will be crystal clear for a very long time. So, you don't need to go out and buy new headlights. I wanted to mention that this is how a professional does it. And I think it should be clear to everyone by now. I try to do it the same way. So there's a new process I had to add into what I'm doing here. This is one thing that drives me crazy too. This is rocker shells. And it's so good, they shot it directly over the metal. And it's like gluey rubber and stuff. And it will now come off there. As you can see, sanding it'll get it down so far, but then it turns into rubber, and then you start scraping it. And then I figured out to take it to the electric thinner for a little while, and that made it scrape off there easier. But now that I'm far enough away from the bodywork I've already done, I've employed a method of turning it into something hard instead of something rubbery. That should come off there pretty easily. But this is just another reason why I paint cars in pieces. It's another one of my pet peeves. One of my best friends used to say about things like that. That's Dave's pet peeve number 172. So I'm kind of a demanding person, but it'll drive me insane if somebody paints a car and doesn't paint it all the way down to the bottom of the car. I will lose my mind. I tell them before, even if I have a car, like a brand new car, like my wife's going to go to the body shop, I'm like, man, can we pick this up? I don't want to see any overspray on any of the rubber trim. I'm going to look and make sure it's painted all on the bottom like it was in the factory. If it ain't, we're going to have business. Okay, this is really an action-packed episode. So, these things, guys, here, they're a game changer. You just put them on before the regulator, or after the regulator, doesn't really matter, on the end of the gun, and they will take out any moisture that the water separator didn't get. And while that's not perfectly important on primer, it's really important on the other stuff. And I forgot a product endorsement. So, like all things, I'm constrained by a budget. I don't know why. Michelangelo wasn't constrained by a budget, yet I find myself in. I am, and of course I would be the superior artist, but he's dead, so there's really no point in rubbing his name in the dirt. But anyway, so all the other sanding paper and sanding disc stuff that I had around here at 3M, and they are considered the best, but to get this many pieces is an assortment size for $19.99. And of course I look at the ad and it says diamond pattern lasts longer, 10 times longer. It's a bunch of bullshit. But I said, what the fuck, for 20 bucks I'll try it. Shit's brilliant. It's unbelievable. The 120 I used to sand this fender down, I could sand the whole side of the car with it, never even slow down. It is extremely durable. So, if you find yourself needing sanding discs and don't want to drop 150 bucks on 3M stuff, get you a $19.99 box of Toulant Revolution 1. I'm not getting paid for this endorsement or anything. This is just my free advice to you. Let me scrape this metal's thin. I'm really like very thin. Race car thin. And look, it's super thin. So I'm sanding it as I'm going around these edges. I can see a couple of places where it starts to flat spot on me. That's not going to happen 3 or 4 times. I'll be going through the metal. So these are done being machine sanded anyway. They're all all this stuff that is now in this little pile is done and ready to be block sanded and primed and block sanded. And then after I do the first priming and block sanding, I'll take them and wash them real good with hot soapy water inside and out. And the reason you want to do that is because you'll have dust inside of them from where you've been sanding and all that sort of thing. You're in there spraying away with your clear, and some of that blasts out of there. You'll be repainting it. So wash it out with soap and water real good, and then just prime the inside of the fenders. Not repaint it, but just prime the sealer. Turn this primer into sealer primer and just seal the inside of the fenders. So after that, all the dirt and sanding dust and Bondo bullshit and all that will just wash off there. Because then when it goes in the paint booth, they got to be impeccable. So that's really good. We had a big day today. Tomorrow, this hood's the worst thing out. Tomorrow I'm going to use hood. Like, see how easy it is with all the fenders and stuff out of it. Coming in to sand it all down. Then there's things you got to pay attention to. If these dents turn out to be flat spots, they'll look as bad as dents. The better quality the paint is, the worse it'll look. So once I plan on laying down some high-tech clear, there won't be any flat spots. But if you'd actually be better to miss a little dent than you would to have a flat spot. You just see when the light ripples across it, it'll just catch your eye. So, I mean, yeah, this is like a half hour sand down and several hours of fiberglass and sanding. These are in no good shape. There's kind of a natural break here, so I can just, if I have a real good day, I can bust out the hood and the top all the way down to here, and then it's all really in hand. That really, the top and that, those fenders are thumped pretty good, but there's a lot of dents in them. Those are big dents, but there'll be smaller dents when I pound them back out. And there are those compound curves, which is, you gotta be real careful when you sand them and shape them. But that thing's in 5 times better shape than the right front fender was. Well, it's all going well. It's just clear weather tomorrow. It's supposed to be rainy, or windy, I mean. Wind's not a problem. It rains as long as I don't use any Bondo and leave it out to the elements. Nothing will happen to it. It'll just get wet and it'll dry. So, I'm excited.